Joining me now is a very close friend, a close friend of Tim Russert's, who was with him. And Dr. Newman, you and I, we know each other. We both know Tim, but you had the sad duty of being with him in the ER today. I don't know what you can share.
It's a talk a bit about Tim, and talk a bit about coronary artery disease and sudden cardiac arrest. Tim had coronary artery disease. He had no symptoms, asymptomatic coronary artery disease, as we see in many men and women. His risk factors were well managed. He was well informed. He did his best with respect to diet, exercise, lifestyle. His blood pressure was well controlled. His cholesterol fractions were optimal. He had a stress test April 29th, got to a very high level of exercise, and he was quite pleased with his performance, as we were. This morning, as most mornings, he got on his treadmill and was always excited about how he pushed himself. These events, these sudden cardiac events, occur without warning. There's no way to anticipate or detect them. An hour before this happened, he could have had a stress test and it would have been perfectly normal. The reason why these events occur is because you have rupture of cholesterol plaque in the wall of the coronary artery, and that causes a sudden cardiac coronary thrombosis, which results in a heart attack, and the injury causes a fatal, in this instance, ventricular arrhythmia.
And this was a blood clot when you say the coronary?
A concern that we had was that perhaps this was related to a pulmonary embolus, because Tim had flown on Sunday to Rome for Luke's birthday and a graduation, turned around. We did the autopsy to determine the cause of death. And autopsies are important despite all the technology and scans and imaging that we have. The autopsy showed that Tim had an enlarged heart and significant coronary artery disease in the left anterior descending coronary artery. And we could actually see fresh clot right in the coronary artery. That was the coronary thrombosis that triggered the cardiac event and the arrhythmia from which he died.
Dr. Newman, help us with this, because we know him as such a vigorous, active man. He had just flown back. He had just taped a broadcast this morning and was downstairs here recording the opening sequence for Meet the Press and collapsed. Was there anything, the EMT guys got here very quickly. Was there anything that they could have done? They worked on him for 10 minutes that we all saw?
As soon as, within a few moments, it was recognized that Tim was in trouble. And one of the interns here, who's a certified in CPR, along with some of the staff here, began CPR, and that was helpful. A defibrillator is what makes the difference. In these sudden cardiac arrests, the use of a defibrillator, which they were in the process of doing, was important. Rather than the NBC, the DC EMS arrived promptly, and they immediately defibrillated Tim. They actually did it 3 times in transporting him to Sibley Hospital.
Is there, in the brief time we have left, let me just clarify, this was a known condition?
He was known to have coronary artery disease. There are many men and women that have coronary artery disease. It's well managed. There was a recent study that showed, the Courage trial, which showed medical management of coronary artery disease is the way to go.
And by the time he was never resuscitated?
He was never resuscitated. The defibrillation efforts, the 3 of them, the full code, the epinephrine, simply did not work. Even in witnessed cardiac arrest, people, the survival's about 5%.
And Tim Russert's physical condition, his health, his weight, he exercised every day. I know he would come in here right from the treadmill.
His weight was an issue. His weight was an issue. Weight's something that we all struggle with. Tim struggled with it, and he always said, tomorrow, I'm going to start tomorrow, Doc. I know what I have to do. And
Mike Newman, I know you as a friend of Tim's, and I know how hard this is for you and as his doctor, and how painful this is for everyone connected. And we just want to thank you for sharing with our viewers to be as open as possible about what happened here today. It's also probably a comfort to people in this bureau to know that he was under your care and that he was working to manage his condition. So thank you.
It's an extraordinary loss, and it's something, I'm sure, for all of us. We appreciate the uncertainty of our lives.
Never more so than tonight. There was no one better, larger, more heroic, more courageous in every aspect of his life, more loving to his family, to his friends, to his employees, than my friend and colleague Timothy J. Russert.